Facebook's still broken, I think. I've been arguing with them today. It doesn't seem like they're willing to unbreak my Facebook. So...
what you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistake.
What's up? What's up?
Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
I was looking at the SNTV's website about their charity or whatever. I don't know about that. Seems kind of sus.
And we feel
It's called Orphaned, like Orphan ED Heart Charity.
race. Wake
And it has nothing to do with orphans. It's the spirit of having an orphaned heart. Let me stop that. Let me stop that music. Oh my God, what just happened? Where's that audio coming from? Stop it right now. Let's play the intro. April Fool's Day. What's up? Oh my God. All you've got to do is ask once. Jesus Christ.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Somebody said, why did Phil like your last night podcast? Don't know. If you think I can control what someone fucking else does, I don't know what to tell you. You don't like it? Fucking leave. Bye. Everybody's so angry about Phil. Like they're using screenshots of stuff Phil says in my chat to prove stuff that they already believed. And they're like, oh my God, can you believe Phil's in Will's chat? It's the second time. We made him mad and he left last time after about a month. We'll see how long he lasts this time. I did get an update about the baby today. Let's see what it says. They went up on feeds to 8.7 milliliters. They are taking him down to 7 peep today, tomorrow, or Wednesday. They will be backing out his feeding tube. It's in his small intestine. It will be moved to his stomach. Thursday will likely be the day for the eye exam. The results came back for his head ultrasound, and everything looks okay. He's on 37% oxygen, and his stats are in the high 90s to 100s. So there you go. There's the update. It's so weird. Like, they're like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. People are liking some of his comments. Yes, some of them's kind of funny. Some of them are fucking lies. I don't understand. Phil acts like a completely different person, and we get completely new information from him in my chat, and then people are like, why did you add it? What is going on? Having complete fucking meltdowns. There was a whole thread about my show on Andy, and people freaking out. I wouldn't listen to anything he says now. He's never exposed Phil. All he does is read court documents. What the fuck are you talking about? I was literally at the leading edge of all this. I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about. I'm glad Nick came by and copy and pasted all my work, but we were here before that, and we'll be here after that, after he loses his case against Phil, because you can't say those things online about someone without any proof, without any backing. He's gonna lose. There's no fucking way some of the shit he says stands in the court of law. You can't say shit like that. Like, Phil doesn't have custody of his kids because he'd be fucking them and shit like that. You can't say that shit. Whether you believe it or not, you can't say it online, not to an audience. What are you guys doing? How's your day been? It's been all right. I dug a hole today, a 2-foot deep hole. Phil's in the chat. That's been a big topic, of course. If these people would just slow down for 5 goddamn seconds and stop screaming, he's a pedophile, you could get information from him that strengthens your case. You fucking retards. Stuff that he would never say in his own chat, he says in my chat, and it's strengthening your case already, you idiots. Questions that he'll never answer on his own chat, he'll at least answer, whether it's true or not, add it to the list of lies or mark it up as the truth. He'll answer in my chat. You fucking idiots. Anyways, we'll talk about that in a minute. Let me show you what I was looking at earlier. Do I have a Facebook open? Facebook. Facebook.com. And then we're talking about what? SNTV. Is that the name of their? Yeah, SNTV. We go to their website. They made a post today here, and it says easy to give a tax deductible gift, and it goes to PayPal.com, and it's called the Orphaned Heart, and then they put international on it, but it's actually called Orphaned Heart Ministries. So they just have this direct PayPal donate link, which is interesting. But if we go to their website, orphanedheart.org is their website. So you see that logo right there? Here's the same logo. This is their website. And even if you scroll all the way down to the bottom and look, it says powered by Burkhart Media Group, which is the owners of SNTV, right? It's that Burkhart guy that runs it all out of his house, his international empire he runs from his living room. You can also tell that this website was made by an absolute child. Hold on, I'll show you some examples. If you go to our, where was I just at? Partner with us, more maybe. Digital Press Room. If I go to their Digital Press Room, literally, they left the commands for where they wanted their logos to be in plain text. And it says, use to share on social media, drag and drop to copy. And it says top official Orphaned Heart logo, bottom left, bottom center, bottom right. They couldn't even bold all the letters. Like this is a website made by a child. I don't know who these people are, the child or the elderly. Child or I don't know. One of the two. It's very strange. It's very strange. And I'm not sure what's going on with this, because even this, if you get there, let's see what it says. If you get there, it says IRS documents, 501c3 status approval letter. Okay, now this is a very specific letter for a 501c3, which is a non-taxable charity. Hold on, I'll pull up an example. It should say something like, let me read one of these examples. Open image in a new tab. It should say something like this. Dear applicant, we are pleased to tell you we determined you're exempt from federal income tax under the Internal Revenue Code, IRC Section 501c3. Donors can deduct contributions they make to you under IRC Section 170. You're also qualified to receive tax-deductible bequests, devices, transfers, or gifts under Section 2055, 2106, or 2522. This letter could help resolve questions on your tax-exempt status. Please keep it for your records. Right? That's just the first paragraph, but that's what that should look like. But if you click on theirs, we're going to download it, and then I'll open it. We assigned you an employee identification number. Thank you for applying for an employee identification number, EIN. We assigned you EIN 82-116-0538. This EIN will identify you, your business accounts, tax returns, and documents, even if you have no employees. This is an EIN is something that every business has to have, right? If you pay anybody, this is how they look up who the business is that paid you, right? And did they pay taxes? Did you pay taxes? Did everybody pay taxes? If you've ever filled out your own taxes, you'll know this number, because when you go to put in a new employer, it immediately asks you for your employee identification number. This right here is not this right here that says we are pleased to tell you that we determine you're exempt from federal income tax. which is strange, right? Why would they have this attached to their website? But again, it's clearly built by children or maybe midgets with learning disorders. I'm not gonna pin it on children. It could be little people that are slow, because they do have, like, I went and looked it up. They do have a 501c3. They just didn't link the motherfucker in their website, so they have one. It is this one right here, I believe. Yeah, they just didn't link it. I don't know what they're doing. They just didn't link it. So this is for Orphaned Heart Ministries, 2628 Woodmont Lane, Wexford, PA. I looked this up through their EIN. And it says, "Dear applicant, we're pleased to tell you we've determined you're exempt from federal income tax under Internal Revenue Code," just like I just read. Just like I just read. By the way, Orphaned Heart Ministries, I think, is kind of a deceptive name. You would think that something goes to orphans, right? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It goes to people who have the spirit of an orphaned heart. The spirit of an orphaned heart. An orphaned spirit does not discriminate between races, religious, whether atheist, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, or Jew. Trauma causes debilitating wounds. The human spirit and the soul-suffering victims cannot thrive until their orphaned heart is healed by Jesus Christ. So this applies to all religions, but you can't benefit from it until you give your soul to Jesus Christ. I don't know. There's some strange things going on. Oh, you have audio. Hold on.
Blessed are the poor in spirit. The very first statement Jesus made in the Sermon on the Mount was, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Mother Teresa describes this condition.
I think if you have orphan in a charity's name, that money should go to orphans, right? Imagine if I started the cancerous mentality charity, and none of the money went to cancer. It was just you had a mentality that was eating at your soul as if it were cancer. Wouldn't that be weird?
In one simple sentence, loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted is the most terrible poverty. Hello.
So this is for people who are lonely or feel unwanted.
Burkhart, president of Orphaned Heart.
Now, what sucks about this is we cannot see their financial statements. And the reason being is because they've claimed less than $50,000 in receipts for the past since 2017. They filed every year, but if you run a 501c3 and you get less than $50,000, you basically just fill out a postcard that says, "Nope, I haven't had more than $50,000. Send it in," and that's all they get from you.
Which brings real hope and healing to those poor in spirit. Thousands in East Africa have been set free since founder Janet Helms taught this in 2006 to emotionally challenged men, women, and especially the fatherless children in Uganda, whose hearts...
So basically, what I'm telling you is if you open a 501c3 and keep it under $50,000, the IRS basically never looks at you ever again, right? Or at least you can hide cash donations to make sure it's less than $50,000. They never look at you again. You just mail in a postcard, check a box that says, nope, it's electronic postcard, by the way. You don't even mail it in. You email it in. It just says, nope, I haven't made $50,000. They never look at you again.
We're broken by abandonment, rejection, and loss. The outcome from healing an orphaned heart is a transformed life that becomes a member of a vibrant and fully committed Christ-centered community. Right now, Orphaned Heart is moving...
I forgot to start the show with this. I meant to start the show with this. There's a new item to add to your list. If you guys are keeping up, get your notepads out. There's a new item to add to the list, okay? So we had one, he's fat, Okay. 2, he vapes. 3, he's bald. 4, he likes pussy. I may have added that one. And 5, the newest one is he looks inbred. You got me. Sure.
Across the rest of Africa. Our vision is to reach the entire world, one country and one continent at a time. So I'm inviting.
I guess this charity was handed over to them. It wasn't, they didn't start it. Somebody gave it to them. Somebody gave this charity to them.
Inviting you to partner with us in healing orphaned hearts.
Healing orphaned hearts, not orphans' hearts, not children that don't have families that are orphaned. It's orphaned hearts. So you have the spirit of feeling alone or unwanted.
We need your prayers and generous financial gifts. I'll email a special partners only.
Yeah, but Two Wolves, I only shave my head every other day. Why isn't it growing into a luxurious mane in the off days? Clearly, there's something wrong there.
Link. So you can download 2 ebooks written by Orphaned Heart founder Janet Helms. These are absolutely free.
They're even showing children, children in Africa.
Just visit Partner with Us at orphanedheart.org and register as a partner. That's orphanedheart.org.
The audio is so bad. Can you hear all that shh in the background of the audio? So bad.
Partner with us at orphanedheart.org and register as a partner. That's orphanedheart.org. Many thanks in advance for partnering with Orphaned Heart.
I think it's also intentionally misleading that when they show their logo or talk about themselves, they call themselves Orphaned Heart International, but they're registered under Orphaned Heart Ministries. And I think they do that to get more donations. A lot of people like to donate to stuff that goes to orphans and stuff that helps orphans, right? Or orphans specifically, since they're using the word orphans or kids or whatever. But they don't want religion crammed down their throat, especially if they don't have parents, and they just want to help them, right? They don't want a specific religion crammed up. We've seen religious extremists use charities as a way to infiltrate and like make little super soldiers. So they intentionally mislead people when they say we're Orphaned Heart International when they're actually registered under Orphaned Heart Ministries. And the ministries is a big part of their work they do, right? That was, let's see, this was from one day ago.
Clap your hands to Jesus. Clap your hands to Jesus. Hey!
I don't know if any of these people are orphans.
Mountains are melting.
Seems like orphan would be below 18. I don't know.
Territories are moving. Hallelujah. There's a territory that is moving. There's a mountain that is melting. I am blessed. Hey, two-step blessed.
They're feeding people. I mean, that's decent.
Somewhere there's an increase in my favor. I am blessed. Hallelujah. Two-step blessed. There's a territory that is moving. There's a mountain that is melting. I am blessed. Hallelujah. Two-step blessed.
I did receive a lot of information about Andy in case anybody was anybody has any more information. coldbeerconfess@gmail.com. If you've got a story, an interaction, whatever, I'm just going to keep everybody anonymous. Some people told me it was fine to use their name. Some people said, I'm just going to keep everybody anonymous, and we'll put the thing together.
There's a door opening somewhere. There's an increase in my favor. I am blessed. Two-step blessed. Sing with me. I am blessed. Two-step blessed. I am blessed. Oh, two-step blessed. Hear this. I've seen you make the lemon work. I've seen you break the...
There you go. There you go. Orphaned Heart Ministries. I don't know if it's legit or not. It seems very strange. Our mission to go into all the world proclaiming the good news, Isaiah 61:1. Healing the brokenhearted, Isaiah 61:1. Setting them free from trauma, Isaiah 61:1. Restoring their souls, Psalms 23:3. Making disciples of all nations, Matthew 28:19. Empowering them to prosper in body, soul, and spirit, 3 John 1:2. There you go. And that, I guess that was from their video there, their YouTube channel and their video. I don't know, man. Seems kind of weird. Operates debt-free, so every dollar donated goes to work in the mission fields of Africa and America. Africa and America. The Apostles' Creed for their statement of faith. Our team. The board of directors is the chairman is James Burkhart. Treasurer is Hasheen Wilson. And the secretary is Abraham J. Now, there's no way. Ajuna Fuja. There you go. Advisory board, USA Affairs, Dennis Kelly. Uganda Affairs, Brian Matebo. And left to right is James, Hasheen, and Abraham from the board of directors in these three pictures here. It says board member requirements document, I guess. Let's grab that and see what we got. Shit, I didn't mean to open the folder. There we go. Orphaned Heart Ministries, OHM, is an international for nonprofit 501c3 organization dedicated to educating and healing orphan heart condition and all affected persons worldwide, especially orphans, widows, and captives, through online media, clinics, and conferences. 2, providing financial support and economic opportunity to help OHM achieve its mission of expanding evangelism and Bible distribution worldwide, with an emphasis on alumni fellowship groups and house church planting that results in effective disciple making, apparently. Based in Cariopolis, Pennsylvania, OHM has provided $300,000 in funds since 2012 to participating churches in Africa for event scholarships, study resources and books, faculty recruitment and retention, pioneering new course material for emerging and special needs population, alumni services, and development of new online distance learning methodologies. Key projects funds raised by an annual fall TV telethon and radio internet public service announcement. The average ask is $49, one-time gift, about 13 cents a day. Each new donor receives an MP3 of the song, a new song, or a PDF chapter from the Healing the Orphaned Heart book. Future administrative budgets will be raised from ongoing resource materials and webinar sales via e-commerce, ticket sales to special event late in spring weekend featuring Friday night benefit concert, Saturday men's golf tournament, ladies fashion show and luncheon, Saturday evening gala and silent auction, Sunday morning worship and international brunch. All of these occur on site at a 5-star resort. You think they get a bunch of cash donations that people don't ask for receipts for? Because the IRS website says less than $50,000 in receipts. Like money laundering. Sunday morning. No, it's a men's golf tournament. And don't bring your sloppy vaginas up on the green. You hear me? Legend. This isn't New Jersey or California. Saturday evening gala with silent auction, Sunday morning worship and inspirational brunch. All these occur on site at 5-star resort in Southwest Florida, I guess. The 10-year plan calls for Orphaned Heart Ministries to touch each continent with a healing the orphaned heart message by 2032. This will be achieved by using internet media that is translated into multiple major world languages. Duplication and scaling of these efforts, spearheaded by our Ugandan team, are currently being tested and evaluated prior to a worldwide rollout. OHM is seeking 3 community volunteers to serve on our board of directors. This role supports the organization's mission, vision, strategic goals, policies, and programs through the following: strategic planning, monitoring of the strategic goals to ensure success, policy development, financial development. The board members' qualifications: passionate about volunteering in the education and spirituality healing space, possesses creative fundraising ideas and the motivation to make them happen, connected to and or interested in outreach to the local business community, enjoys connecting people and finding partnership opportunities, comfortable reaching out to their network of family and friends about a good cause, strong communication skills, highly organized. The board of members' primary responsibilities: remain apprised of new organizational developments, read and understand OHM's financial statements, and otherwise help the board fulfill its fiduciary responsibilities, attend 1 hour quarterly Zoom calls with all of the board members, ask questions, and participate in the discussions committee of attending one annual in-person board meeting to be held in conjunction with the annual gala. Well, that's just a free trip there that you can write off for taxes, right? We got to do one in-person meeting, but it's during our gala.
Susanio17 Abnig just gifted 10 subs.
Thank you for the gifted subs. I appreciate that. 10 AB Neg. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Leverage personal relationship, connections, represent OHM in the community, blah, blah, blah. Nigeria, Uganda, United States, ooh, Foster Care USA, Native Americans, women in prison. Who doesn't like supporting women in prison? That's right. Athena's amazing personal story. Here in honest detail, transparent testimony, what we do. I don't know. Maybe we should look more into these people. Affiliated organizations. Amherst Theological Seminary. SNTradio.com, of course. SNTradio.com, of course. We got to get this a good Christian radio website going where everybody listens 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Oasis International, I've actually heard of those. Foster Care Institute. Teaching resources, I probably need some of those. Healing from Rejection, that's it. Thank you very much. Healing from Rejection.
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert a little kiss.
Give him a little kiss. Give him a little kiss. There you go, guys. That is your boy, James Burkhart. I don't know. That guy's sketch as fuck, isn't he? That guy's sketch as fuck. Let's do this. I just had the IRS website open. Let's see. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Bum-ba-dum-bum-bum-ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum. Nope. Oh, idiot. Don't do that. By date. Idiots. Acceptance letter, approval letter. Got it. Facebook, no. Annual electronic filing requirement. So they fill out a 990N e-postcard. Let's do this. We'll go here. And then their, what was their EIN? Already closed it, didn't I? Shit. (82-116-0538). So if we pull up their Form 99N, which is a form that they have to file every year. This is on irs.gov. You can look this up for any charity. It says where they're at, their location. That's their EIN number right there. You can look that up on their website. They've got it listed as their 501c3 letter. Let's pull up like this year. And it says 2023 tax period. Mailing address is in Naples, Florida. Gross receipts not greater than $50,000. EIN, principal officer's name and address, organization name, doing business as. Organization has terminated, no, and their website URL, orphanedheart.org. And it's the same every year. Gross receipts not greater than $50K. Gross receipts not greater than $50K. If they can fill out this 990N, a 990N, that basically means they don't go over $50K. There's some other reasons. If you look up Form 990-N, there's some other reasons. If we go read it, it says gross receipts are considered to be normally $50,000 or less if the organization has been in existence for 1 year or less and received or donors have pledged to give $75,000 or less during the first tax year. Okay, so they're not in their first year. We can put that out. Has been in existence between 1 and 3 years and averaged $60,000 or less in gross receipts during each of its first 2 tax years. That's not true. They've been around longer than 3 years. So the last one is at least 3 years old and average $50,000 or less in gross receipts for the immediately preceding 3 tax years, including the year for which calculations are being made. Most small tax-exempt organizations that have an annual reporting requirement can satisfy the requirements by submitting a Form 990-N electronic notice e-postcard. For tax-exempt organizations not required to file a Form 990 or a Form 990-EZ. Form 990-N is submitted electronically. There are no paper forms. An organization eligible to submit Form 990-N can instead choose to file a Form 990 or a Form 990-EZ to satisfy its annual reporting requirement. Small tax-exempt organizations generally are eligible to file a Form 990 to satisfy their annual reporting requirements if their annual gross receipts are normally $50,000 or less. Now, to me, that says that their annual gross receipts, what they've received, are $50,000 or less, right? However, some organizations are banned from this, even if they do. A subordinate organization in a group exemption that is included in a group return filed by the central organization does not file a 990-N because the group returns satisfies its annual reporting requirement. Filing due date, late submission, tax year, legal name, any other name and address, confirmation of the organization, annual gross receipts. The total amount, this is what annual gross receipts are, the total amount the organization received from all sources during its annual accounting period without subtracting any cost or expenses. That's from the IRS website, by the way. Thank you. I am capable of using Google. So somehow they're working in the U.S., they're working in Nigeria, they're feeding people in Uganda, they're managing all of this, all the paperwork, all the overhead. They're putting together a gala, a silent auction, these meetings and golf tournaments on less than $50,000 a year. Does that seem like I don't even know if you could just do the gala and a golf tournament for less than $50K a year. I mean, I've never put together. Has anybody put together a golf tournament ever? It seems like it would be pretty pricey to have like staff, to rent the golf course, to have, I mean, just the entry fees coming in, that's money, right? A silent auction, doesn't that seem expensive? Like they're making money there somewhere, right? I don't know. Is that possible? Men only golf tournament. I don't know if I need to clarify that or not. They did. It's a men only golf tournament. That's probably cheaper. You don't need to worry about menstrual cycles and ovulation and shit like that. So you probably save a little bit of money there. It says how much does it cost to host a golf tournament? It's from medium.com. It says on average, you can expect to spend at least $150 to $300 per player to host a golf tournament at a public course. Going to a private course or adding more frills can quickly cost about $500 per player. And pink razors, that's true. Those lady razors that have the extra sensitive moisturizing strip. Get the fuck out of here. Or did you mean pink razors the phone? You got to give them all a pink razor phone? I don't know if that's part of the tournament. Yeah, I'm not saying, obviously, if they if they sponsor you're saying if they sponsor the tournament that you don't have to file that as income if you're putting on the tournament? Come on, they don't have to supply tampons. That's right. That is a thing. But how? Okay, so $50,000. If I put on a silent auction, a golf tournament, and was constantly begging for donation, if I couldn't run a charity and take in more than $50,000, I don't know that I would keep the charity going. Especially if I'm trying to work overseas. What am I supposed to do? Save up for 10 years to do something in Uganda? I don't. It just seems like it would take a lot of paperwork and filing and plane tickets and supply and logistics and shit to get that taken care of. Does Mar-a-Lago supply tampons? I don't know. Probably. That's kind of an elite place. I don't know if they'd let you in. The last time I looked into a golf tournament, did you guys ever see that charity scam, the YouTuber charity scam thing with that one guy that basically scammed everybody? He made this charity about his mom and how she died and blah blah blah. And then, like, he didn't make any donations for, like, 6 years. And he's like, oh, well, it just wasn't enough money. And we couldn't find out who we were. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Somebody knows, I'm sure. I was watching it closely, and I even researched some of it, but not to do a show on it. I guess that makes sense, kinda. So, like, if they tell me that it's $10,000 put on a golf tournament, and I call a local business and say, hey, it's $10,000 put on this golf tournament, would you mind donating to it? I guess that doesn't have anything to do with me. It's between that business and the golf tournament. He ran a video game channel where he played, like, charity scam game channel. I can't remember was it the completionist or something like the completionist? Have you guys seen this? I might get struck down for Mudahar, but let's see this video. Now, this guy does have a rebuttal about it, but it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Hello, guys and gals.
Check this. This had an annual golf tournament in it. I've honestly thought about doing a charity that actually helps veterans, but it seems like a lot of headache. It seems like so much headache.
I'm going to start you off with
I just don't like charities where like 90% of it goes to like management and board of directors and shit. But
question. When you donate to a charity live stream and that money leaves your bank account and it goes to the charity, do you expect that money to actually be going to the charity that you're donating to, or do you expect it to sit in a bank account for years? What do you think is the more logical?
Literal years. He would go on live streams and talk about donating and shit. The guy's name is called the Completionists. And he plays games to complete them, to like get all the challenges, to complete it, do the whole game, to win it on every level. Like that's what he does on YouTube.
Logical option. Do you want your money to go that year, or do you want it to just sit in a bank account doing nothing to help a cause that you firmly believe in? Well, that's the question we're looking into today. Now, the YouTuber that we're actually discussing is known as the Completionist. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you might be...
Since I'm such good friends with Phil, maybe I'll get him to sponsor my charity that I'm going to start for veterans.
Wondering, who is the Completionist? The Completionist is one of...
Phil, if you're in here, call me on my my secondary phone that only you have the number to, our best friend's phone.
The more popular gaming channels. He's been around for a long time, and he makes some pretty awesome gaming content. What the Completionist also does beyond make interesting gaming content is run something known as Indie Land, an actual yearly event where industry veterans, independent gaming companies,
So indie like indie music, indie games are like games that are made from like small startup companies, right? Not the big, just like indie music is not from like big name bands. It's from like smaller bands. Indie games are made from smaller companies, breakout companies. Now, sometimes these companies have one good game and they blow up, but usually what happens is indie games kind of stay indie games. They just don't have the marketing. They just don't have the manpower, the funds, whatever. But he hosts a thing about Indie Land, and it's small game creators, and they feature them in their games.
Brands like Corsair and G Fuel and some of the best influencers in the game all converge together to help raise money for charity.
Phil offered me a Q phone, but I was worried what it looks like when you get a dick pic in hologram form. So I actually denied that. I told him I'd be all right.
Indieland is there to fight against dementia. Now, if you go to the big donate page over here, you'll find out that they work with the Open Hand Foundation. And this foundation was founded to honor the memory of Karen Khalil, the completionist mother who ended up losing her...
That's the completionist mother, the Open Hand Foundation. It was literally started in his mother's name, right?
...life in a fight against frontotemporal dementia. And of course, all the condolences for sure. But when we looked into this charity, one of the biggest red flags...
He might as well sponsor my charity. I'm going to have him sponsor the new YouTube channel. It's just going to be everywhere. This show is brought to you by Phil Godlewski. Why? Who knows? Hell, he sponsors some random country music singer. Anybody ever heard about that guy again? Except for the cowboy hat and Phil and Carrie walking out on stage. Anybody ever heard about that motherfucker ever again? I didn't think so.
Showed up, and that was the Open Hand Foundation. Now, while it is a 501c3 charitable organization, tax-free, all designed for public charity, we wanted to look into this organization with a much more in-depth.
This Some Ordinary Gamer, Mudahar, this guy that's talking here, he's actually really good about investigating stuff and getting to the bottom of it. You should check out his channel, Some Ordinary Gamers on YouTube. He's got 3.7 million subscribers. I actually might get shut down for playing this. I hope I don't. I'm trying to cover it and talk and be fair use. But I'm going to link the video. You should go watch the full video because I'm going to be skipping around some because he goes pretty in depth. But if you want to know more about this, go check out his channel and that full video, please.
Look, because we found something a little unsavory. And by we, I mean Carl Jobst and me. We were working on the story together.
Many Tennessee schools are going to be closed tomorrow. Okay. I guess I'll check it out. I heard it's supposed to rain tomorrow. I got to pour concrete tomorrow, set a post. I heard it's supposed to rain, but I didn't know it's supposed to be that bad. Thank you. By the way, if you want to contribute to the show and you're not Phil, Phil has all my bank account information. He can just wire over millions. But really, what we'd rather do is use a fraudulent GoFundMe scheme about a baby. So if you're not Phil and you want to donate, you need to go to coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund.
And the actual results are very damning. So ladies and gentlemen, when we look at the Open Hand Foundation, they said together, let's make a difference. And of course, the philosophy is the more you receive vital research for a cure for this devastating disease. Now, of course,
they're looking for, is it dementia, I think? It's a cure for dementia.
They list benefactors like the University of California, San Francisco.
So benefactors, obviously, would be people that benefit from your charitable donations, right? If you're listing benefactors, now, no one expects this charity to go do research themselves, right? If their charity set up to cure dementia, no one expects this YouTuber to be doing dementia research, but he has to send it somewhere, right?
Nope. It's from San Francisco, which is the Convenience Cup Challenge, and of course, Indieland, which...
The Convenience Cup Challenge is his golf tournament I was just talking about. Indieland is a charitable live stream event promoting independent video game developers and their games to raise money for the Open Hand Foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to look even further into where this money that was raised by Indieland was going. See, in the news, you would just read that Indieland, for instance, in 2021, raised more than $100,000 for dementia research, which is crazy awesome. Over the weekend, annual live streaming event raised more than $100 grand for charity, organized by YouTube star Gerard Khalil, aka the Completionist. And of course, it's the same story.
I was digging a hole today. So if you don't know where I live, obviously it's down on the river. And I'm just saying this because I saw in chat. I was digging a hole today that it's let's say it's probably 16 by 16. I'm putting a post in. I want to stay it there forever. 4x4 post. It doesn't need to be that. It could probably be 8 by 8, but still. And I wanted to go 2 foot deep. And I literally I was pulling rocks out like this big because it's on the river, right? There, river rocks fucking everywhere. Like rocks out like this big. And I finally got down to 20. I wanted to go 24 inches. I finally got down to almost 22 inches, like 21 something. And there was literally a rock. It's got to be as big as a car hood. Like I couldn't even, it covers the whole bottom of the hole. The hole 16 by 16. It covers the whole bottom of the hole. I couldn't find it. I dug out, like bell bottomed the bottom of the hole. Like I didn't make the top of the hole bigger, just the inside part. I dug out as far as I could reach with a crowbar. With a crowbar that I slid down in the hole. This crowbar is so wide, it's probably 24 inches, probably 2 foot wide. I couldn't even turn it sideways at first. I had to like dig out to get the crowbar in there. As far as I could dig in all directions with a 2 foot crowbar down in a 16-inch hole. and could not find the edge of the rock. Never moved it. Never. It's just solid. Some bitch is huge. And did you guys see the monster wagon? Everybody was giving me shit for pulling a car wagon. Look at this motherfucker. Or for pulling a kid wagon, a little bitty wagon. Look at this mother. That's a regular wagon. Don't mind the old work towel I got in there for some reason. Look at this motherfucker. You could put 3 of these wagons side by side in this wagon. Look at this wagon. No, I didn't say that. Somebody in chat saying the schools might be canceled, but I don't live anywhere near Nashville. This is a full-size car it's sitting beside, and it's one half of the car. Give me shit for pulling 200 pounds of shit in a wagon. That motherfucker is intense, dude. That son of a bitch is hardcore. Normal wagon, monster wagon. That's what I'm saying. Like, that picture I showed you of Mariah's niece, the little girl, she's in a wagon like this. And Ollie fits in a wagon like this. Even if he sticks his legs straight out and sits with his back up, he can't lay down in it. He fits in this. Ollie could lay down in this one with his arms out like this and still not touch a side. This motherfucker is huge. And instead of having like a pull handle like this one's got a single handle, it's got this huge bar that looks like I'm supposed to be pulling some type of fucking turn plow in an Amish field. It's got a bridle and shit on it. There was a part that I had to put in my mouth and bite down on. They called it a bit. Like, this motherfucker is huge, dude. This motherfucker is huge. And people are like, oh, he had to pull a kid around in a wagon. A fucking 100 and some pound kid and 80 pounds of fucking gear that Mariah shouldn't have never brought in. Yeah, I did. For 10.5 miles.
That you'll find on other websites like Dual Shockers, which again says in 2022 they raised 80K. News site, sir.
80K for dementia research. They raised, so that little clip I was just about to skip hold of says they raised 80 in 1 year. They raised 80K for dementia research,
massive,
which would be good, right?
Go to the IRS charity lookup right here. So again, it's as very simple as going to Google, typing in IRS lookup, and here you can see tax exempt organization search. You click on that.
That's what I was just on. So you put in, it says select, I didn't select anything. I just put in the EIN.
And you put in the EIN number in this field and hit the search button. And that takes you to the Open Hand Foundation. You open that one up right here and you can see a lot of their letters too. For instance, this...
So see, they file a 990 PF, which is obviously different than the 990N, which is the less than $50,000. So they're making more than $50,000.
It's this determination letter that shows that they've been active since 2014.
With puke in my shoes. So you're right.
And again, this is their...
Good thing I've been on the treadmill for the last, I don't know, 2 months. I've been trying to hit, my phone does a stupid thing that does like step goals, and I didn't even realize it was a thing. Like, I used to get these health alerts all the time when I was at work, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And just turn it off. And then one day I opened it about 2 months ago, and I was like, oh, it keeps track of my steps. Well, that sounds like a challenge. So then I just started obsessing over beating it every day. So for the past, I think right around 2 months or something, for the past 2 months or so, I've made sure to complete that every day, even if I got to finish it on the I usually get it at work. I think it's 3.5 miles or something. I usually get it at work. And if I don't, I finish it on the treadmill. So I've been training for this Dollywood trip.
This is basically them showing when they were active from, okay? So they've got their tax forms, their 990 PFs, which basically shows the money going in and hopefully the money going out. So these are all public records, and you can look them up for yourself.
So if that charity we were just talking about made more money, we would be able to see the money coming in and the money going out.
Right now. And we went to ProPublica.
Even compensation for like the president and the CEO or whatever.
And they have tax filings all the way from 2014 up to 2021. So at this moment in time,
I feel you're a good dude. Thank you.
Me and Carl decided to look down the actual filings year by
Most
year.
People don't.
Note, you can see that the Open Hand Foundation raised in revenue $33,000 in contributions. If you look at their operating and administrative expenses, they had nothing to spend. So
they raised $33,000. They spent nothing.
That also includes contributions, gifts, and grants paid. Line 25, which would mean money going to...
So they didn't send anything out. So this guy technically wasn't like spending the money, but he wasn't sending it anywhere at all.
Other charitable organizations or grants that you're $156 sitting in cash in their accounts. So then we go to the year 2015, and we look that they made $60,000 in contribution revenue. They spent $27,686 this year. But That puts them from having $33,756 in their account at the beginning of the year to having $66,000. Remember, it's the amount of contributions they make minus their operating expenses. What's interesting is line 25. They paid nothing in contributions.
So even this one, they had expenses. They had $30,000 in expenses. They still didn't give any out. This is weird because the guy kept saying, you know, we're donating to this research. Your donations are going directly to and some people had like touching stories like, my mom had dementia, or my aunt died with dementia, and this is a horrible disease, and they're donating money, and none of it's going to anything. Just set in the bank.
$6,599 in administrative expenses. How much did they spend in contributions paid? $0. And of course, you can see that at the beginning of the year, they had $66,000.
So now they got $100,000 in the bank.
They started off with $31,000
in 2016.
They spent $11,000, still paid $0 in contributions or grants to these charities, and started with in contributions. In revenue, they spend $14,144 in operating.
It just says other expenses, attached schedule, and then they spent $550 for accounting fees, $35 in taxes, and that's it. They're still not giving any money to charity. This is kind of slimy, right?
Expenses. Then, of course, they still pay out $0 in contributions. They spent $12,394
So his excuse was,
in operating expenses.
When this guy does a rebuttal to this, his excuse was, it's still in the bank. I didn't spend it. We were... You know, we were thinking about partnering with this company, then we didn't partner with them, and I just wanted to have enough to make sure that it made a difference. I didn't want to send a little bit at a time. But you were telling people the whole time, you even got benefactors listed. How can you have benefactor if your charity has never made a donation to any benefactors?
So actually, $13,815. Year 2020 rolls up, turn of the decade, $122,000 that they've earned in them with $325,000.
That puts them over
with $442,000. 2021.
$442,000
rolls by. They make $136,000 in contributions and donations. Donate $0 this entire year too. Spend almost $30,000 in administrative expenses. This starts them with $442,000, ends them with $549,000. And if you think I'm getting too long,
$500,000 now they just got sitting in the bank claiming that it's going to charity.
Contribute bank.
So you should go watch this whole thing, by the way.
Alzheimer's Association over the years, and that's where
the link, I'll drop it again. You should watch this whole thing if you're interested in this and YouTube drama and this, because this guy's really pissed, saying that his family was doxxed and he's going to have to hire a lawyer for slander and defamation.
Again, I assume them on me completely, and I will own up to that. But, you know, again, it doesn't fucking matter. You guys are going to say what you're going to say, and I can't stop it. But the important thing is that all the...
That's him talking right there on a voice chat.
Support them as we were talking negotiations about working with them. I don't really have a true answer for that, and that's on me completely, and I will own up to that. But, you know, again...
That's a calm, Q idiot. I understand, like, okay, here's something people don't understand. I don't think that a majority of the money ought to go to the board of directors. But I'm not against a board of directors being paid either, right? You're paying a board of directors, not an extraordinary amount, but a regular amount, so they come in with connections. So they come in with ideas. Hopefully they successfully ran a business or a charity before. Hopefully they know people with money. Hopefully they have ideas for fundraising. Hopefully their name can bring some attention and bring some money that way. So I have no issue with paying these people a regular fucking decent amount to run a charity, right? But it's when like 80% of the operating cost goes to the president, 20% goes to the charity. Obviously that's crazy. But you do have to pay them some. A lot of people be like, it's a charity, they don't pay them nothing. Well, then you're not going to get somebody who's going to do a good job running the charity.
This doesn't fucking matter. You guys are going to say what you're going to say, and I can't stop it. But the important thing is that all the money is still in the account. None of it's spent erroneously. It's all above board. Like it's not hiding in a Cayman account or anything like that. And that's the thing about 501c is that, like, if I did any of that, the minute I did any malpractice of that nature, literally the government would be like, hey, we're coming after you. And that's, right. You know, at least...
Not to mention some of these are like... some of these people are like, they're taking time away from other things to do these. Like SNTV is kind of jank, right? If they're just showing up once a year to meet at a gala and they're raising a salary, that'd be kind of crazy. But some of these places meet all the fucking time. If they're a big charity, always doing stuff, always have money, they're there at least once a week, maybe multiple days a week.
legally speaking, everything's above board, and I understand that
a full-time
the question
job.
isn't so much legality and so much more about morality in, you know, me advertising this event and showing people sponsors and all that stuff.
Now, I think it's quite interesting to almost make it sound like this is about to be some crazy drama story, when in reality, this isn't some tabloid journalism we go for. I kind of find a weird insinuation of that a little bit insulting for me and my colleagues like Carl, people like CoffeeZilla, people like Barely Sociable, who do deep dives and investigative. This isn't drama. Representation made for person.
Not only was this a big YouTube story, did you guys see the YouTuber that was exposing people? The YouTuber that was exposing people in Australia as basically being like a mob running down basically running the country and exempt from the police or the government or anything, and they firebombed his fucking house. Like, he's doing legit, and he's doing what Nick Alvear thinks that he's doing in his head.
Personal gain. Defrauding a charity can be anything from one of the most common ways to commit charity fraud include pretending to be a charity or falsely claiming to be affiliated with a legitimate charity in order to solicit donations. So at this moment in time, this is where me and Carl decided to look deeper into the Indie Land streams, just to see if they were being
I'm not saying it's impossible to do it for no compensation. I'm saying that I don't have a problem with people being compensated.
Honest about the definitions of this charity and if the money was actually supposed to be earmarked and kept, or it was going to some legitimate organizations. Let's listen closely.
Guys, welcome to Indie Land. For those of you who don't know,
All right, so this is what he was saying when he was raising money. I'm going to slow this down, and I want you to listen to at least one of these statements, okay? And then we'll move on. But this is him talking about the Indie Land stream and the charity. Is he saying that we're taking money, we're putting it in an account, and we'll donate it later? Or is he saying something different than what's actually going on? Let's see it. Listen. This is from 2021.
We're doing, we're raising money for dementia research and prevention, helping victims who not only have dementia but the families of those around them. It's obviously a very important cause. I could talk today, near and dear to my heart. I was 10 years old when my mom got dementia, and it's been a journey for me and my family. And so this cause is obviously very personal, and that's why we're here today. Bits, donations, subs, buy the shirt, buy the coin, buy indie games, all that stuff. All of it is going to the benefit of helping others for this charity event.
So again, if that is
So it's helping people with dementia. It's helping their families. All of everything that's being donated is going to dementia research, dementia victims, dementia. But really, it's just sitting in a bank account, earning interest, right?
true statement, then the actual filings would reflect that. Again, we looked through every single aspect of their public filings and found that they didn't contribute anything. In fact, me and Carl even went down and actually got a comment from their organization, and it reads like this in one actual message that we received. Dear Carl, thank you for your inquiry regarding the financial activities of the Open Hand Foundation. We recognize your concerns and are glad to offer clarity in our operations and missions. So again, they actually said, since our official registration, and that was back in 2014, we have been evaluating potential beneficiaries who align with our visions, entities that could use our funds efficiently and effectively without a significant portion being diverted to administrative expenses.
So basically, they're just researching places they want to give the money to for 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
We asked Gerard about this, and it pretty much seems like what they have said to us in writing matches what he told us in an interview.
Whether it's UCSF or a partner that's also on our website, because we don't have any other benefactors currently. That's why I was like, well, they're taking care of it, but nothing was ever brought to my attention. I just knew that conversations were happening between Alzheimer's Association of America, AFTD Foundation, UCSF started a new organization, I think called like Bluefin or Blue Group, which is like supposed to be their 501c part of their organization. So I know I have a paper trail of us talking to other organizations as early as 2020 and 2021 in an attempt to pay them what they were owed. And most of the conversations we had from some of the bigger orgs like Alzheimer's, they were like, look, if you're not going to pay more than 6 figures or 6+ figures of what they asked for, then you're just going to waste it. So the goal on the back end for my family that I've been told is like, we're just going to raise a bunch of money and then give it to one org and like make a bigger impact rather than just giving smaller donations that don't move the needle.
Now, I think this is a very, very dumb point in the...
So now he basically says, oh, they told us if you don't donate 6 figures or more, then it's wasting your money. Really? Is that what they say when they raise money themselves? Or do they say every dollar matters? It all adds up. It all goes, it all goes to research, especially when you're talking about like a nonprofit research organization or a school dedicated to research, medical research. They say, hey, if you don't have 6 figures, don't worry about it. It seems like a fucking lie, doesn't it? Could you imagine reaching out to St. Jude's and saying like, I would like to leave a donation, and they're like, hey, if you don't have 6, 7 figures, don't worry about it. We can't use it. We're going to piss it away.
sense that, again, bear with me. If I go to an actual charity right now, for instance, the Alzheimer's Association, one thing you'll see is they'll ask me to gift an amount that is as low as $35. Now, again, if the idea was that a small donation was somehow going to be more geared towards financing this organization's administrative costs versus actually helping Alzheimer's and contributing to the cure, then they should just tell you, why the fuck would you donate $35? Donate $35,000 instead. That's going to matter more. See, the idea of this money going to a doctor's salary is, again, like, who do you think is going to do the research on this anyways? Of course it's going to go to salary for researchers, doctors.
I literally am about to like donate all this money today and prior to that earlier this week and the week before, and I've just been sitting here crippled trying to figure out the best way to handle this, because I felt like if I donated the money the minute you guys emailed me, it'd be a situation of, well, he's trying to hide it and he's admitting guilt by doing that.
Sure. You're fucked either way, right? If you hold on to the money now, you're just proving them right. And if you donate the money now, they're going to be like, hey, we busted him. Like, it doesn't matter. You should have been donating that money yearly. And I wouldn't even care if you ran a surplus. Let's say you raised $50,000 and you donated 40. And then the next year, let's say you raised 120 and you donated 80. I wouldn't even care if you run a surplus as long as we were catching up on that surplus, like whittling it down.
And I never felt that way, but I understand completely that you guys could easily argue that, and it would just make me look more like a scumbag. And, you know.
So there you go. If you want to watch the rest of that, here's the link. He's a good YouTuber. He investigates a lot of stuff. There's the link to the video. You can watch the rest of it. That was a weird charity scam that was going on. And then the other guy was... I want to see if I can find this. Hold on just a second. The other guy was talking about being down in Australia where I guess like it's almost like the mafia or the mob or some shit. They firebombed his house. And check this out. This is from CoffeeZilla. And he's going to be talking about the YouTuber here and bringing some attention to it. It's a short video. It's 10 minutes or something. So it's Friendly Jordies. Friendly Jordies, if you ever heard of him. He's like an investigative journalist on YouTube.
Hello, I'm here to talk about a very serious situation that's been going on, a crazy situation concerning this guy, Friendly Jordies. You may have known him because his house got firebombed. He's a YouTuber, but he's also a journalist. And I wanted to make this video to kind of share what's been going on, because although people have covered this, I feel like some of the details have been lost, and the details are where this story gets so insane and also so serious, honestly. I think part of this is because Friendly Jordies, Jordan, can't speak a lot for himself on this issue because there's a lot of risk, a lot of danger of doing so. So I want to talk because I don't live in Australia where these I want to say bullies, but that's not really what they are. Criminals are, so I don't have the same concerns for my life the way that Jordan does. I'm talking, of course, okay, so as you guys know, you may know, may not, let's just catch you up. Friendly Jordies is a YouTuber / journalist who's specifically in New South Wales, and even more specific.
So he exposes this corruption in Australia. He's an actual investigative journalist, actually doing research on like kickbacks and buy-offs and people not being prosecuted. Like what Nick Alvear thinks he does in his head, like I said earlier. Right? He's actually producing evidence that would put these guys in prison if the system wasn't so fucked up there.
He's taken it upon himself to really expose this guy, John Barilaro, who's the former deputy premier of New South Wales, super corrupt guy, eventually stepped down. But in the process of doing that, he's made a lot of enemies with everyone you can imagine. Of course, politicians. But
yeah, but I think people, the organized crime is obviously global, but I think people don't think about it like that. Like, for some reason, we think about our problems we have here differently than... I think most people think about our problems we have here different than we think when we think about another country. When we think about another country, unless it's like a third world country or like a country we would never visit, we think of it almost like a vacation spot where nothing goes wrong, right?
But now also organized crime families and actually the police. So when his house got firebombed, I think it was a little over a year ago. Nobody really knew who did it. Of course, the internet was upset. We all wanted justice, but everyone was like, well, which of the several guys that he has pissed off, could it be? We don't know.
So they firebombed his house.
A 13-month investigation. Here it says, police charge Alameddine Organized Crime Network associate over the firebombing of Friendly Jordies' Bondi home. Now,
so basically, he's exposing these people from the top down, like the biggest guy down to like the henchmen. And they finally decide to prosecute a guy for firebombing his literal home, and they only get the henchman with like a slap on the wrist. They don't go above the people who made the call. Like, it wasn't just this random guy who commits petty crime. Like, someone told him or ordered him to do it, right? They don't go after that guy.
Now, one thing some people aren't aware of is actually it was firebombed twice. The first time it got extinguished. The second time it fully went up. Friendly Jordy's, of course, was luckily not in the house when it happened, but it's basically attempted murder, right? Or at the minimum, just super intense intimidation from this organized crime network. And the real lore you have to understand is that all of this came after a video Jordan did called Coronation, which recently he has taken down, and we will talk about that. But the entire idea was to intimidate him.
So the Coronation video was taken down, and not because he's like, I can stand the pressure, I can hide, I can be, I can move, I can hire security, I can do this, I can do that. And the problem is, the people that whistleblowers and the people that come forward, the people that provide him information, because he's just a journalist, right? He doesn't live in the Alameddine crime family or whatever. The people that provide him information were in danger.
Or remove him entirely because he was talking about
the
Alameddine crime family's association with Coronation, which is a property development company, and John Barilaro, this politician. Again, that's his thing. It's like journalists are supposed to expose corruption. That's what he does. So he's just doing his job. His house gets firebombed. They find out it's the Alameddine organized crime network. But they only arrest one guy.
Literally, it says in the paper that it's an Alameddine. It says in the news article, it's an associate of the Alameddine organized crime network. And they just arrest the guy who actually firebombed it. They don't arrest anybody above. They don't give him any sort of protection. So they'll just hire another guy to come do it,
and
right?
It's just an associate. They don't even, it's not like a main guy. So in the video Jordan did, it was like he was exposing a lot of the top guys, right? A lot of the top people in their association with this guy, with John Barilaro. But here, they just arrest one associate. They say they have three other people that they suspect, but there haven't been any arrests since. They say there's going to be more arrests, but ultimately there haven't been, which led us to this video 7 days ago. And look, I know, I'm a little tardy to the party, guys. But I still felt I had to talk about it because ultimately the one thing these people don't want is obviously this information get out. I think it's obviously backfired on them. But anyway, let's listen to the statement by Friendly Jordy's after the police haven't arrested anyone else.
You might have noticed that we haven't been releasing videos after the police arrested a suspect for the firebombing of my house. While we're very grateful for their persistence throughout this ordeal, we felt it would be prudent to see what the response would be from certain individuals. Their response has been one of rather perplexing confidence.
Okay, real quick, I want to highlight there. He says individuals. We all know what that means, right? Like, look who's actually responsible for it. This Alameddine organized crime network. But there's a lot he can't say because I think I don't know, I haven't spoken to him, but I think he's worried about further sort of retaliation. And
Clearly.
and if you notice, he also says, like, buoyed by the lack of further arrests. So the cops, although they said they were going to arrest a bunch of other people, they haven't.
Buoyed by the lack of further arrests, they've decided to be much more blunt with their requests, threatening anyone they believe had handed over information to assist with the creation of the video Coronation.
So they're now threatening people, anybody that they think may have handed him information, may have given him inside information about this company named Coronation and how it ties into not only this crime family, but also the a politician there locally.
This video detailed links former Deputy Premier John Barilaro had with development company Coronation Property. The video encompassed more than Coronation Property Associates. It included an array of spirited characters, many of whom were enraged with its release.
So basically, people are threatening now the sources of Friendly Jordy's. I don't know if they're threatening Jordan himself. I obviously wouldn't be surprised. But the part a lot of people are glossing over is the contents of Coronation was not just, hey, this company is linked to this crime network.
Alameddines have been big time in the drive-by shootings and bikie gangs and drugs.
Is also linked to John Barilaro, this politician. The real point of the video was about how untouchable these people are, and it details how basically this guy who went against them was...
Now, if you want to see the video Coronation, where he breaks everything down, it's been re-uploaded by people. If you just search Coronation or Coronation Friendly Jordy's, it's been re-uploaded by people. But he doesn't want to upload it because he's afraid to fall back on others.
First threatened, then kidnapped, then tortured, and all of it was caught, or most of it was caught on camera, okay? They have CCTV. First threatened about how untouchable these people are, and it details how basically this guy who went against them was first threatened, then kidnapped, then tortured, and all of it was caught, or most of it was caught on camera, okay?
This guy was threatened, hunted down, captured, tortured, and most of the capturing and threats and the stuff was caught on camera. Not the YouTuber, but a different guy that was mentioned in this video, Coronation.
They have CCTV footage to back this all up. They have an eyewitness. They have all these things, all this corroborating evidence. So you would think like, oh, this is an open and shut case, right? But the video is about how powerful this group is that the witness suddenly at the final hour recants his statement, assuming
the eyewitness, right on the verge of going to court, recants his statement.
Presumably because he was bullied into it or intimidated into it, and then disappears. The police, the person who was kidnapped and then tortured, just vanishes. And no.
He recants his story. He just vanishes, and no one's even fucking looking for him. So he was threatened. He was hunted down. He was kidnapped. He was tortured. He was released. He tried to place charges against these people. Then right before they were supposed to go to court, he recants his story and disappears, and everybody's like, he's probably okay.
Nothing happens to anybody. This crime network, whatever Jordan's talking about, nothing happens to them. And so what's so frustrating about this is that
it does sound like a movie.
The same thing is happening again. Exactly what he exposed in Coronation is replaying once again, where all the facts are there. Everybody knows what's going on. They've literally firebombed a guy's house. They have people responsible. They know who it's connected to. And ultimately, it looks like nothing further is going to happen in this case. Of course, we'll see. But I think it's been a month and a half since they arrested the first guy, and it's just some small-time guy. And so what Jordan's saying is like, if you're these guys who've done this, and you're looking at this, and just one small guy gets arrested, you're like, well, I'm just gonna keep doing it, because they're untouchable. And so Jordan ultimately is faced with this super dark ethical dilemma, where you start to have to ask yourself, is it worth keeping up a video about how untouchable these people are if nothing changes?
Because that's the point of bringing attention to corruption. Eventually, something has to be done at some level. The point is you have to keep putting attention on it, keep putting attention on it, keep putting attention on it. Some of the worst corruption we've ever seen cost people their lives and their livelihood, but it was people that were crossed so far they would never back down. Right? You can only fuck over a person so much until they start screaming out like this guy's responsible.
If they keep being untouchable, if they can just do.
If we just took that approach to like, wow, if they're in on the justice system, why would you do anything? Nothing would ever be exposed, right? Ever.
Whatever they want, threaten all my.
What would be the point of exposing anybody?
Is it worth keeping it up? And props to him, by the way, because if you noticed, for a year after the firebombing, he didn't take down the video that the firebombing was about. And then after, it's only when they actually start threatening his sources does he actually do anything, right? So I really felt like that's such a horrible dilemma, because of course as a journalist, you never want to be intimidated. But in this case, I don't know what.
So again, I'm sure he doesn't want to take down the video, but if they're threatening any sources and they're actively researching to see who the sources are and can they get to them or their families or whatever, you kind of have to take it down.
More he can do, and I think he gets to that point right here.
But an authority in the land powerful enough, or perhaps foolhardy enough to check them. We've done our absolute best to keep the video up. Believe me, we have. But if the content of Coronation is to fall on willfully deaf ears, if its only tangible result is the death of innocent people, we will not have their lives hang on our conscience. In other words, you win. We're taking down the video. Congratulations, you run this city. We were ignorant of the fact that Sydney is more.
Honestly, the first time
we were ignorant of the fact that Sydney is more or less 1920s Chicago, talking about how they basically run everything.
I got chills when I heard you win. It's such a sad conclusion to a brave piece of journalism. And look, it's one thing to risk your own life with these things, and I think Friendly Jordy's, of course, did that. But when it came to risking other people's lives, he was unwilling to do that, which I think is unfortunately an understandable position to be in. So my heart just goes out to him, and I think he's still in danger, by the way. Look, dude.
You guys want some dramatic readings?
If you watch Coronation, basically it's all about
we got some.
They kidnapped this guy, they got away with it, and their connections. If you listen to the details about how they, and by the way, even though they took down Coronation, 1 million copies exist. So it's like there is some positive to this, where it's like, okay, the video is being seen by a lot of people, but it is shocking how much these people have impunity, and they can do whatever they want. They can threaten whoever they want with as many violent threats as they want, and nothing happens. So there is a limit to the change you can affect. I think Friendly Jordy's has done more than his part, and I'm just happy I'm not in New South Wales, to be honest, because I'm able to speak about this openly. Anyway, I just want to spread the word. I don't really have anything crazy good to say, any heartwarming message. I don't think things are going to change overnight, but what I do know is that the one thing you can say is that if their goal was to stop people talking about this video, that has massively failed, and I think that's the one win to take away from here. So anyway, just wanted to give support to Friendly Jordy. We worked together before. He's an awesome dude, and yeah, I just wanted to talk about the situation because I don't think right now he really can. That's it.
There you go. There you go. Another YouTuber actually exposing corruption. I don't know. The two stories reminded me of each other after we got off the Burkhart stuff, right? The Burkhart media. I don't know. I just don't think. It's hard for me to think that they actually only raise $50,000 a year and they're doing all the things that they do. Seems more like if they're even able to do these things, they would have to have more money than that. Right? Wouldn't it seem like that? I don't know. That's their claim. Dramatic reading time. Are you ready? Let me guess. It's all about me. 100%. It's 100%. Here we go. Here's the latest update. In case you haven't heard this about me, here's the latest update about me. Something you didn't know. Shar Tong says, by the way, thank you for trying to share my work. It's not going to work in this group, obviously, but thank you for that. Shar Tong says, anyone on the fence or believes Andy should watch Will Bird's show last night. Just wait until we put all this together. Just wait. It'll probably change your mind 2 or 3 times. Just wait until we put all this together. We're just gathering information right now. I think we're going to have a pretty good show on Andy. Make sure you tune in for that. But here we go. Anyone on the fence or believes Andy should watch Will Bird's show last night. It's really interesting, and he is looking more into her too. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Now let's see what happens. Bride says, I'm absolutely not a fan of Andy because I think she is a greedy, backstabbing liar like Phil. But does Will have any credibility right now or ever? He took donations from Pebs to trash her perceived enemies on his show. What are you talking about? And now he takes money from Phil, and she is supposedly Phil's enemy? By the way, the guy who made up that I was taking money from Phil admitted he made it up, and he has no proof of the claim, but it's a narrative war, so all he's got to do is say it. Those are his own words. Proof? I don't have proof, and I don't need it. I just say what I say. It's a narrative war. Fucking retards. All this did was show me how fucking dumb you guys are. I don't know about the whole Pebs thing, says Cher Tong, but I think it will be interesting to watch it play out now that he's calling Andy out. She's been getting away with everything and has infiltrated these chats, pretended to have been fooled herself. That's the way I feel about it. Like she's like, oh, I just believed Phil and happened to fall into hundreds of thousands of dollars by being part of his downline and one of his moderators and banning anybody that ever questioned him in any way, shape, or... That's how I feel about it too, Shar Tong. It's the proof he shows on her, plus their whole 7K scam will come crashing down on them this way. Lisa, I don't have any interest in seeing anything Wildo puts out. He's disgusting. Madness. Who cares what he does? All the person said was anyone on the fence about Andy should check out this show, and he says he's going to have more information. Who cares? Sarah says, exactly. He is so strange. Am I strange? Chat, you can be brutally honest. Am I so strange that you shouldn't believe anything that comes out of my mouth? What's so strange? Exactly. He is so strange. I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. And I can't believe Phil asked his followers to watch him. Clearly, Phil's going to ask people, if I'm covering someone that Phil also don't like, he's going to share my link. When I cover Phil, does he share my link? Absolutely not. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? Anyways, I'm so strange you can't believe me. They all want to see if they've been mentioned. Bride says, is she still in this chat? Talking about Andy. Bride, I'm sorry. That was somebody responding to Bride. Bride says, I think she stormed out a while back because someone respectfully asked questions. Cindy, no, but she's in Nick's chat. She has a lot of supporters there, including Nick. Mary, I think if Will, who we know is best buddies with Phil, his paycheck is calling out Andy, then Andy can't possibly be on Phil's side. She is obviously the next target for Will to earn his cash. I'm going to have to start a new GoFundMe for a different baby so I can get $1,000 to ruin my credibility, guys. Shar Tong comes back and says, I'm saying it because there are a lot of people who have fallen for her lies. Apparently no one else is covering her, and he's showing stuff that shows what she's about. If you don't like him, fine, don't watch. I just said it in case anyone's interested, which is a completely valid statement. Like, if you don't like him, fine. I'm sorry everybody got upset. All I'm saying is he's showing this. A lot of people have been fooled by this. If you don't like him, don't watch it. If you do or you want to see this, watch it or don't. It doesn't matter. Just in case anybody's interested. Miss says, Andi has been nothing but nice every time I have seen her in the chat. She gets asked a lot of questions about 7K, and then the mods tell her not to talk about it. So this is one of the people that's been fooled by Andi that needs this help. No. Who cares? Cindy says, stranger things have happened. I don't trust Andi at all because of her ties with Phil and 7K. Shar says, your comment is why I suggested watching Will's show. Your comment is why I suggested watching Will's show. Bride says, I only saw Andi spring up in the chat when someone talked about 7K. She would come in only to defend 7K. She never seemed interested in enjoying any other subject and did not seem to be interested in getting to know anyone or letting people get to know her. Just my opinion based on observation. Yeah, exactly. She popped up to defend her cash cow and say, oh, it's not bad. Phil's just bad. And then the mods made it to where you couldn't say anything bad about her. That's suspicious as fuck. I understand I'm the chat with the rule that I don't want it all about Phil all day because we do other things. I don't want people just melting down about Phil all day like it's another fucking melon chat room where they're like, pedophile! And that's all that gets done all day. We cover other topics. We talk about different things. But I wouldn't have a rule that you couldn't say anything bad about Phil. Hell, I don't even have a rule that you can't say anything bad about me. Go for it. AZ Jamie says, also remember Andi as Phil's mod, she'd block anyone who questioned Phil. That's exactly right. She was one of the most strict mods when she was a mod there, but claims that she started seeing that he was lying way back. I'm sorry, but unless she was incredibly dense, she knew most of what she said was a lie, or what he said was a lie. That's true. Especially about anything 7K. Exactly. When he was pitching 7K, not in compliance with the way they're legally allowed to pitch it, she would know. She made her whole life about 7K. She never said a word. She wanted in under him to make that money. You're right. And we should cover it. Next. She would always say she couldn't talk about certain things because she had to get a lawyer and wasn't allowed to. That's very convenient. When you're like, oh, my lawyer won't let me talk about that. Bye. 7K is good. Make sure to buy 7K. Bride. She was one of his most ruthless mods, shutting people down when anyone questioned Phil's intel. She also reaped the benefits of people joining 7K due to Phil's fear-mongering. Now they start to question whether I've ever covered Phil appropriately. Someone says, Cindy says, how convenient. Mountain Girl says, there's some shady shit with her, but my question, which I have never received an answer for, even when I directly asked her, and she never even offered to DM to explain, is why her best friend, OG mod, which is Sherry Glore, is still a mod for Phil. Right? They acted like she was against Phil and she had insider information. Then they acted like she's best friends with Andi. She's going with Andi. Now she's still with Phil. This woman can't make up her mind. If she is on the outs with Phil, why is her bestest friend Phil's mod? That's another good question. Shar says, oh, I didn't know that. That's really interesting. Mountain Girl. Yes, and interesting she would never give me an answer. That is interesting. Thank you for that. We'll look into it. Cindy says, extremely suspect. Shar. And wasn't there an issue with OG Mod and some woman involved in Tressie Trek? Yeah, actually, Tressie Trek herself. Which I believe was the 7K cruise that Phyllis was bragging on about one day. That the cruise Andi was also on. They're all in it together. Yes, they were all on a yacht, but I don't think that has to do with the Tressie Trek part. But yes, they were all on the yacht partying. And I made fun of that Sherry Glore's weight And then Sherry, her daughter, and Andy all messaged me. He's like, "Hey, she's really sensitive about her weight. Could you not talk about it? She's a really good person. She doesn't like Phil either." Yeah, okay. Except she's his OG mod. Izzy Lou says, or is it part of a childish mindfuck game they are trying to play and they're all in on it? Just saying, I don't trust any of them. Yeah, I've just been covering Phil for the last 3 years. No, that's not. I've only been covering Phil for the last 3 years, and it's all a mindfuck game. It was all a setup. Cindy, I don't trust any of them either. Miss DL, which is very bizarre since he was exposing him when docs started coming out about Bree and the Scranton Times stuff. If you think that I was exposing Phil when the docs came out, you missed 2 years of me covering Phil. No, CHAR, Shar left and will not be back. This is someone else, SHAR. If you think I was exposing Phil when the documents come out, you've missed years of content of me exposing Phil. Everything he said, everything he lied about, all the claims he made, all the way up from the dark web, the inauguration, everything. Miss DL says, also says, I don't know what to make of any of this mess anymore. All I'm sure of is that I want to watch Phil get his ass handed to him with his lawsuits. He will probably lose most of those lawsuits, except for the Nick Alvear one. I think he's going to win that one just because Nick went way too fucking far. You can't do that. It's turned into a three-ring circus like this administration and media don't know who to completely trust anymore. Okay, never mind. We'll write you off. Sandy, if you can call reading public court documents exposing, he really hasn't exposed Phil at all. Are you kidding me? Show me a 5-hour interview that breaks down everywhere Phil lied anywhere else on the internet. I'll wait. I'll wait. God wins. There was a problem with Tressie Trek and a mod. Tressie said something highly inappropriate happened with a client and the mod of Phil's. Not sure whatever happened, but Tressie took time off. She was quite upset. No one cares. Fuck that bitch. Tressie is another scamming fraud. She's part of their group. She's in the damage control department, says Shartong. Yeah, she's horrible. Miss DL, true, but he was shedding light on those docs, which his followers don't believe to be true. So at least somebody gave me credit for covering those documents. Michael W. says, to give proper credit, his 4-hour interview of Phil with full explanations the next day was pretty damning to pedophile and really got the ball rolling on pedophile. Think what you want of Will, but he got Phil to voluntarily tell everyone that he's completely full of shit, always lying, is completely illiterate when it comes to computer and internet. Thereby, Phil basically told everyone that his backstory of being a super hacker, hacking Secret Scroll was a lie. If you hate the dude, I get it, but still need to give proper credit. Otherwise, it affects your credibility long term, which is true. If you keep denying that people had anything to do with anything, that affects your credibility long term. You can't rewrite history and take away all the wins I've had against Phil and still have on a pretty regular basis. Right? You can't just destroy all that. It just makes you look like a fucking idiot. Hence why we're reading it. Fucking idiots. Bride says, Cindy was only referring to the reading of the documents when stating her opinion. Not really. She said, if you can call reading public court documents exposing, he really hasn't exposed him at all. Well, there's more than just the reading of the documents. That was the rebuttal. Jellybean says, the only credit I'm giving Will is credit for selling out to Phil. Will never told us anything we didn't already know about Phil. Are you retarded? I was the first person that even found his arrest in Maryland while you guys fucking failed to find it for a year before I even started covering him. I exposed his fake deep web call. I exposed the fact that he can't even get on the dark web. Get the fuck out of here. He didn't tell us anything we didn't already know about Phil. Ooh, getting bad. Cindy says, my credibility? LMAO, go suck up to Will somewhere else. Eye roll emoji. Look out. Prism. Oh, yeah, I busted the Prism story and even set up my own version of Prism. That's right. AZ Jamie. Give Will credit. The same Will that's allowing Phil to be in his chat. The same Will who has stated he would take money from Phil to shut up. From anybody, by the way. Anybody. If it's enough money, it's got to be a life-changing amount. If they just said, don't ever talk about me again, sure. If Will did that interview and then stuck to keeping Phil under the fire, then maybe. Maybe. But he's proven every day that he's obviously okay with Phil. And you can point to all the screenshots of me condoning what Phil does or saying Phil's innocent or, you know, give him a high five. You all copied and pasted my research for his mega movie. Remember? If you can even call, he's really not exposed him at all. My research is Nick Alvear's movie. Jelly Bean. You have to be okay with the boss, otherwise you won't get paid. Trailer Trash needs their beer money. Again, their lack of research sometimes is astounding. I haven't drank a beer in years. Gotta have my beer money. You got me. You got me. Sure, but character goes a long way. In my opinion, he's become foul and wedging these communities that do expose Phil also. Wedging? Am I wedging them? Chris Carroll says, invested. Okay. Michael W. says, I'm only referring to that interview where he got Phil to answer all those questions and totally out himself. It was a great interview and he did a great job. I'm not happy that Will and Phil are buddies now. Y'all are insane. I'm not happy that Will and Phil are buddies now and have never liked how he's super critical of Trump and holds Trump to a ridiculous high standard while letting Biden, Obama, and Clinton off the hook. I think I hold them all to the same standard. It's just that Trump does so many ridiculous things. By the way, the new excuse with why Trump is selling a Bible is that that's not the real Trump. This is from Nick and all those fucking retards. That's not the real Trump posing with Lee Greenwood. And because it's not the real Trump, he's saying that Lee Greenwood is a bad guy and exposing him, and that's the only reason they're selling Bibles. So there you go. A buddy cop movie, you think? A buddy grifter movie? There you go. I did go to the Super Bowl with Phil, but that was business only, no pleasure. Even though I'm not happy with what Will's doing, I still have to give him credit for a great interview. Otherwise, I feel like my credibility and ability to be objective could be called into question. And when talking on other subjects, I'd hope people would take my opinion more seriously because I have the ability to be objective and not react emotionally. That's all I was meaning, Cindy. It wasn't meant as a slight on you. Sometimes I'm not the best at explaining myself, especially when you have this idea that me and Phil are buddies. Totally agree with that for sure. Talking about my character's horrible. My bad character. Jesus. I guess it's hard to give a man credit when he's constantly degrading those who have put work into calling Phil out. Who? You mean like you're doing right now? Nobody's put more work into this than me. I used to be more humble about it. But I'm tired of this. You can't call them out. They one time made a post against Phil. Nobody's put more work into this than me. Not anybody restreaming Phil with a funny filter. Not anybody running an anti-Phil group. Not anybody running a group for Phil survivors. Nobody has put more work into this than me. Nobody. I don't care how much stock footage you have. I don't care how you copy and paste my research and put it into a feature-length film. I don't care which nose Phil has on or money hat while you're restreaming him. I don't give a fuck. Nobody has put more work in this than me. That interview was a long time ago. Seems things have changed. Any credibility he earned is now at nothing. If he really was that disgusted with Phil, he wouldn't be allowing the shenanigans. I know we wouldn't allow Phil here to laugh it up with our members. Imagine being so fucking dumb. Listen how dumb you are. Imagine being this dumb, making these statements. Wow, why would Will let Phil into his chat? Then screenshotting something Phil said in my chat and saying, doesn't this prove that Phil was lying about X, Y, and Z? And didn't he just admit it in Will's chat? Then saying, I can't believe that Will let Phil into his chat. You guys can't see the irony in those statements. You can't see the irony in wondering why I let someone in my chat and then using information that someone put in my chat as evidence that a statement he made in the past was false, something he would never talk about on his own chat. You don't see the irony in that? Y'all are fucking retarded. Jelly Bean. Credibility goes both ways. I've never seen you criticize Will. He just did. I'm unhappy that Will and Phil are best buddies. I agree with you on this completely. I'm just saying his interview back in the day was really good and helped get things moving forward. But it's been about 6 months or so that I really have watched Will, and he had become stale. And his constant critique and high standards that he held Trump, but always gave the Dems a pass. It was our diatribe about Trump with full details. Then at the end, it would be the Democrats suck also. Even though I'd already moved past Will a while ago, this friendship with Phil to destroy Nick for financial reasons had really damaged his credibility with me, and I'm sure a lot of others. I wish somebody could show me these financial gains or these financial reasons or this buyout that doesn't exist. That'd be great. Seems that Nick's film kind of moved Will from being Phil's at the top of exposing Phil, and now he's just another face in the crowd. And it's been my guess that has hurt him financially. So I guess Phil and him have a common problem in Nick and have joined forces. My show's never made more money for me. Everybody seems to know that I'm losing these followers. I can't get any views. Nobody donates. Nobody does it. My show's never made more money from the people that have always donated and watched and new people than it has right now. If it was going in the other direction, I would change something. Anyways. Like I said, I don't follow as much, but curious, where does Pebbles land in all this? She was taught with Pebbles, and if so, now that Phil's okay now, how does this work? Color me confused. Who said Phil was okay or good or condoned any? I don't know. You all just making this shit up faster than I can respond to it. He actually read one of my critiques on his show and critiqued me, so there is that. Although it's not what I aspire to do. Laugh out loud. Here's the good one. I don't watch Will. He's disgusting. But I would love to read your critique of him. Could you forward it to the chat? I'm sure we would all love to see Will be confronted for the actions. Well, it wasn't anything major. It was just my take on why Will was going after Nick, and I speculated that Nick's movie had done serious damage to Phil's numbers and views and really affected his revenue. And I felt Will was going after Nick because it also affected his numbers, views, and revenue. But it wasn't. But it was because Will was no longer top adversary to Phil, which really hurt him because he already has a relatively small but loyal audience. And if he was losing views from Melon and Erica and other such channels because they were watching Nick, Z, and Script, those people don't watch me. Are you fucking shitting me? Then I suggested that was the reason. I haven't lost any fucking views. If anything, I've gained views and viewers. Do I have to go show you my live stream averages? What are y'all talking about? By the way, this guy's going to get booted for defending me. This is defending me. This is defending me. I'm going after Nick because Nick's a fucking Q-tard piece of shit who defended Phil. You're the one blinded by your rage of Phil to support someone who defended Phil for months. Then, when it hurt him financially, this is so weird that they try to put exactly what happened to Nick onto me. Nick was the one supporting Phil. Nick was the one defending Phil. Nick was the one who wouldn't allow discussion about Phil in his chat. Nick woke up angry one day. These are his own words. Banned everybody that supported Phil and called him a pedo. Told them they were supporting a pedo. Then Phil said, Nick Alvera's shown his true colors. Go unsubscribe. When they started unsubscribing and he started losing his financial support, he decided to make the video finally. Why do you have to apply that to me? I didn't do none of that. I've never defended Phil in any way, shape, or form. Weird. I didn't see Phil and Will joining forces, even though they both had a common financial interest. I thought Will had more integrity than that, but I was wrong. That was the gist of it. Don't remember the show. It was a while ago. Then he got banned for defending me. He got banned for defending me. That was defending me in their group. This right here is defending me in these other groups. They're insane. They're fucking rabid or some shit. When Nick Alvere defends Phil literally until he's losing money and then says, I guess I'm going to make a film about him, then goes too far in the opposite direction and gets sued and he's going to lose, they cheer him on. When I call out Phil and Nick, they're like, the Phil's paying him. Phil's paying him because it hurt him financially. Ain't nothing hurt me financially. If something hurt me financially, I would come to my stream and be like, hey, guys, we're struggling. Because I do have a dedicated audience that I'm sure would help me out if there's any way they could. Nothing's hurt me financially. I think maybe you're projecting everything that Nick did on me because you can't come to terms with it. Also, I pulled this big-ass wagon for 10.5 miles around Dollywood, and people thought it was a joke. And also, where did they even get that? Obviously, Pebbles and I made a joke because someone accused her of sending me nudes to cover certain people. This was Jess, the school teacher from Pennsylvania, who's related to Phil. And literally there's messages of her saying, I'm sorry, Phil. I'm sorry. I won't talk about you no more. Don't take me to court. I'm sorry. That person. So he made a joke about those. They're like, Phil, Pebbles pays Will to go after her enemies. So you can get mad. You can do whatever you want. You can go watch Nick Alvere's film and rehash all the research that I've done over the last 3 years and claim I never did anything to expose Phil. Just remember, every time you watch that movie, that's all mine, and no one has done more to expose Phil than me. Be mad, I guess. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for the support. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Nick Alvear's a fucking piece of shit. Phil Godlewski's a piece of shit. We'll see everybody on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See ya. Bye. Remember, just because you copy and paste my work doesn't make it original. It's still my work.
Show. You don't have the fork and balls to call out the people on this planet by name.
But they put a funny filter on Phil. Okay.
Balls. You don't have the balls.
You got me there.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss 'em off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit.
Where my true believer?
Y'all need Jesus.
Praise the Lord, head to the extreme.
All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst.
We do need to get back. Probably need to cover Scott McKay again. Derek Johnson. There's a bunch of grifters we need to go back through and see what they're up to. I didn't even know Toto was over here calling people monkey lips, Jumanji lady. I didn't even know that was going on. We need to get back to that.
I think I started some shit.
Too many grifters at too little time. Also, I know people enjoy this type of content, but I have got to start a new channel. I promised my dad when he was still alive that I would give it a go as trying to do like a mechanical channel, like working on stuff. That'd be a lot of pre-recorded videos, but I promised him I would. I got to give it a shot. It may not take off. It may be shit, but I'm going to do it either way.
In his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. What are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Give me oh my God. Damn it.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss 'em off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss 'em off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage.
Yeah, it's always great having the person who made the documentary about Phil. And you say, oh, okay, what's going on with this current case? And they're like, let me call, I can call somebody and they'll know. Okay, well, what happened in this? Well, I had to look that up and get back to what?
Copy on
the king of copy and paste.
His ass on stolen bullshit and bronze to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience. It's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby eating.
His own words. When Phil told people to unsubscribe and they started unsubscribing, that's when I realized I had no choice. I was going to have to make a movie about him. What happened before that? Well, I said he was a 25-year-old who fell in love with a 15-year-old. I said I don't see him being a pedoing at the moment. I said I've never called Phil a pedo because a pedophile because I don't think he is a pedophile. He said that he made a mistake. He said there's a lot of flexibility here. He said, have you seen 15-year-olds nowadays or even back then? You know, all the stuff that I've never said.
About your
there you go.
That's really pathetic.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.